Welcome to the National Women's Fitness Academy podcast. We're here to talk about women's health, female hormones, body image, and all things health and fitness.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Women's Fitness Academy podcast. I am one of your hosts, Helen, and I'm also an educator for Women's Fitness Academy and binge and body image expert. Today I'm here with someone who I have been stalking on Instagram for a very, very long time. Her name is Kylie. She's a mom of two, and she is also studying with Women's Fitness Academy at the moment. So one of the reasons why I want to get her on is obviously because she is studying with us. So I think it would be really cool to interview someone who has gone through the process, but also because she has a goal to become a coach, and she has also got a very interesting backstory, and obviously balancing like mom life and studies and everything else that's going on in her life. And I think it's just going to be a really cool opportunity for all of us to just get to know Kylie a little bit more. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
Good. Nervous, but we're here and we're doing this, hey?
Exactly. And like we said before, like it's all about pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. I'm sure you did that when you signed up with Women's Fitness Academy as well.
Oh yeah, I did.
How are your studies going?
They're going good. I am now a qualified PT. And honestly, like I've said it a million times, like I don't think I would have ever been finished, especially the PT section, without like what Women's Fitness Academy provide. So like, I love everything about them.
That's so good to hear. Love that. I wish you would come to Bali for the February one so I could meet you.
I know. But like you said, mum life and it's hard with the kids. You can't just drop them for 10 days and head off as much as I would love to. But they need me. I don't need them. No, I need them. But it would be nice to be able to head over. That's my goal this year, or maybe next year, is to at least get to one.
Yeah.
Because it's such a good opportunity, and who doesn't love Bali?
Exactly. It is a very nice place to live. Minus all the health issues that a lot of people are going through at the moment with the Bali that's going around. But other than that,
luckily we didn't get that back in we went in October. We're very
good. So lucky. God, what are your secrets? Like I've had it like 4 times now.
I know, I've seen them. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how because my husband was like, we're not going there, we're going to get sick. But we didn't. So it's good.
So lucky. So Kylie, obviously you have a pretty big Instagram following. And can you tell us a little bit about like why you started this page, how you got into it, like what you're sharing?
Yeah. So my page is Transforming Kylie. I am Kylie, but most people know me or associate me with Transforming Kylie.
Yeah.
I think I started my page just gone 4 years ago, and I don't like to say the word or name out loud, but it was originally Keto Kylie, because I was looking for a quick fix to lose weight, along with all the other quick fixes I've tried. And I just started it for myself because I felt lost, and I spent a lot of time speaking to myself, but it was more like a visual, just took a lot of videos of myself, a visual diary to just, I suppose, to get it out, because people back, especially I found 4 years ago, didn't really understand mental health and didn't really understand like how food made people feel when it comes to a binging point of view. So I did a lot of just myself, and I didn't expect anyone to follow, and then you sort of make that sort of community and people start following you. And my page didn't really go anywhere for maybe even 2.5 years. Then all of a sudden it just exploded. And I'm still adjusting to it because I am just Kylie, and I am very humble, but I do love my page because it's such a big outlet, and it's been 4 years and there's so much more into that story, but I love it. I love my page. I really do.
Yeah, and it is so amazing as well. And I love what I love with your page, and like Sarah as well that I've had on the podcast before, is that you guys are so freaking encouraging and you're so supportive. And I think it's just so nice, like coming from that social media like social media in general can be very toxic. And I think this, especially like in this industry, there's a lot of people who just want to tear each other down and, you know, talk shit about other coaches and say that, oh, like this coach said that and that's rubbish. And I can't believe that person said that. Or like this coach doesn't know what he's talking about. And like,
a lot of people think that there's no room for anyone apart from themselves. So they don't share anybody. They don't comment on anybody. You know, that's all cool to stay in your own lane, but this is about like encouraging everybody, lifting everybody up, sharing everybody. Like there's so many coaches out there now, it has shifted, that just share everything about, you know, they could be losing a client by sharing someone else's page, but it's not about that. Like you will find that client because you are you and they want to be with you. So I think a lot of people need to understand that fear of being, you know, sharing other people's pages. Just everyone's going to support everybody. So just get on board, essentially.
100%. I so agree with that. And like we're all in this industry, hopefully with the same goal of helping people. Hopefully. And like I speak about this all the time on my page. Like we need to collaborate, and if someone's really good at something, then it's great to bring that person on as like a guest speaker, or you know, to have them help your clients out a bit more if that's something that you don't feel like confident in. And it's not, shouldn't be seen as competition. It's just like we're just trying to be the best we can for our clients, and always learning, always growing. Like obviously we're all going to have different interests, and just,
not everyone's going to gel, not everyone's going to get along, that's fine, but like, don't tear people down in the process because of your own insecurities at the end of the day.
Exactly. And that's what it all comes down to, people's own insecurities and being afraid of like you said, like that person's going to leave me, like if I share this because of this client. And I think it's so awful to see, because you shouldn't be afraid of like spreading the knowledge out there. And I think it is really like what you and Sarah are doing, that always like lifting each other up and lifting other people up as well. And like that's how like we connected. I think you shared something from my page and I was like, wow, this is like really amazing.
Exactly.
And I love like
especially have that same common interest with the binge eating. So like, and I'm obviously not as well knowledge as you with the studies and that side, but like you know from a more professional point and how to help people. So why wouldn't I share your page to help somebody that is struggling with binge eating? Because at the end of the day, like myself, I didn't know what binge eating was. I thought binge eating was I'm not like to use skinny, but I thought it was the skinny side where the bulimia and the anorexia. I never realized binge eating was the larger side with being fat and overweight. I had no idea.
Yeah, it definitely can be. No, it's not really so much about what you look like. It's just about what's going on in your head, right? Like
exactly.
Which
I didn't know.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people get that wrong, like you said. So you mentioned that when you first started out, you were doing keto. So that's what
I wanted to say. I want to move my page away from keto because I'm not. That's what you want to do. That's fine. And a lot of people that do still do it, and that's fine. But I think when I finally found flexible dieting or flexible eating, that's what really changed it for me. And there's a whole lot more that went in before that, but just learning what food actually is and what you shouldn't be using it for when you're in the mindset of binge eating.
Yeah, for sure. So did you start keto because you wanted to lose weight, or was it like a health thing? Or
no. I had we'll take it right back. Like probably almost 14 years ago now, my parents broke up. It wasn't nice. And I don't know how we got to the point, but I become extremely depressed because of how my dad treated me. Treated not just me, but everybody. And I didn't realize at the time, because when you're in that fight or flight mode, I was medicating essentially with food, and a lot of food, and I was secretly eating, and my life was great. Like I've got my new partner who's now my husband, and from like 2009 to, I'm going to say, to at least 2013, before we got married, I was in and out of like the soup diet, the cabbage diet, any sort of diet you could do. I was doing that, but not actually looking at what the problem was, because back then compared to now, I find there's no information out there. And you just think, you know, because everything I know with like my mum's like era, it was just you've got to be skinny, and you got to do everything you can do to get skinny at whatever cost that is. And yeah, at the time I didn't realize what it was doing to me. So yeah, like then like I said, like it's hard. Like my mental health was not good. I lost a lot of friends. I promised myself I wouldn't get emotional, but here we are. I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of everything in my life because I was the life of the party before I was like 21. I used to go out. I used to have a good time. But when your life dramatically shifts like that, and I was all for my parents breaking up because it was toxic and it wasn't healthy. But when your own family treat you like you don't exist, that hurts. And being the oldest, I took a lot on with my brother and sister, and had to be tough for them. We all had to be tough, and had to be tough for my mum. But yeah, like food was unfortunately what I went through. Like with if I have an example, like my mum and my sister, they don't turn to food. They're sick and they can't eat. Where I'm the other end. I'm like, I can't stop. Like I have to keep eating. I've got to, you know, it's going to make me happy at some point, isn't it? But it actually never does. And then I was on and off antidepressants for that whole time, because you think you get well off your antidepressant, and then all of a sudden you stop taking them because you think that you're cured, and then you go on that roller coaster of antidepressants. And then, like I said, we got married, and I had my first son, Nash, and life was actually going good. Like I felt like I was back, finding, you know, you always look for finding yourself, but it's not about finding yourself. I've realized that now. But yeah, like I had Nash and everything was going well, and we fell pregnant with our second, and unfortunately that ended in a miscarriage. And again, that's like over 6 years ago, that wasn't spoken about. That's the problem with mental health. Back then, it wasn't spoken about. I don't know if it's because it's spoken about now because I speak about it so openly, but it wasn't spoken about. So you suffered in silence. And I then got pregnant straight away, very lucky. A little too fertile, I think, but that's okay. And I suffered through my pregnancy, and then I had Tex, my second, and I didn't bond with him for 5 months because I hadn't dealt with the loss of the baby that we didn't have, and you know, depression spiraled at that point. But I like refused to be medicated, which I probably maybe should have put my ego aside and just medicated myself, or you know, got medication. And I tried everything, and I think it was, so he was born 2017. I think it was around the end of 2017. I tried everything. And saw a different doctor one day, and he's like, "Oh, what do you think about hypnotherapy?" And I was like, "Well, that sounds like a load of shit, really, doesn't it?" Like, he's like, "Well, what have you got to lose, Kylie?" I thought, okay, and I took the card and I put it in my bag. And then as time got on, things got worse. And for me, like my biggest like reward in food was Macca's. Like I drive down to work, and there was the Golden Arches on the freeway, and I could not stop there. And every single morning I'd stop there and I'd get exactly the same order. It was like a McCafe meal and an extra egg and bacon McMuffin with a large strawberry thick shake. And I remember one time driving down there, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, we don't have any of that burger anymore." No, it wasn't that actually. What happened is I ordered something different. And he goes, "Oh, I'm not ordering the same thing today." And at that point, I should have been like, wow, that's fucked, Kylie. But he knows, some rando knows my order, like off by heart. But instead of realizing that I had a problem, I thought, well, stuff you, I'm going to a different Macca's. So I went to another Macca's where he wasn't going to see me ever again, and I never went back there. And then it did hit me, and I pulled that hypnotherapy card out and I booked that session, and I had one session, and I've never touched McDonald's ever again. It's been 5 years, 6 years this August. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
That is
and like
unreal.
Crazy. Like Perry, her name is, fantastic, and so like she's helped me in so many ways. But like, yeah, just, it's just what it is. Like, you're just feeding a bad habit when you're doing something over and over and over again. Especially with like binge eating, the only way to break that habit is by changing its direction.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's what she, taught me. You've got like these, little brain cells in your brain, and you keep feeding them that, if you direct it to a different, different route, you start feeding that route instead, then it'll change. But for me, that stopped me eating Maccas, but didn't stop me eating other food. And I probably like was good for a while again, and then, went up and down. And then I think 2019 it would have been, I was diagnosed with binge eating disorder. And that's when I was like, I've got binge eating disorder. I'm not skinny. Like, I'm not underweight. Like, I'm not throwing up in the toilet. Like, and he's like, no, like, binge eating can be both ends. And I was like, what the, like, I had no idea, Ellen, like, no idea. And then I was heavily medicated. And I was, I should put a little warning on this, but I was never suicidal, ever, because I would never do that. But that medication made me suicidal. And we're coming up to 3 years ago now that everything almost was lights out for me. And luckily it didn't end that way. But that's where my page 3 years ago, pretty much in a couple of days to the day, I started prioritizing myself, because I had a second chance. Not a second chance, I shouldn't say that, but I had a chance to change and make a change for myself, not for anybody else, not to make anybody else happy, but for myself. And I think when you start putting yourself first and you stop worrying about pleasing everybody else, as hard as that is, and I was a mum. Like, I had a what do you been, like a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old at the time, and maybe a bit later than that, 2020. No, they were 3 and 5. Sorry, yeah, 3 and 5-year-old. So I took them every morning to the gym. Like, they come with me to the gym when I join the gym, and they come everywhere with me. And yeah, it was hard for them, but it was hard for me too. Like, you gotta put yourself first. You do, you really do. I feel like I'm really blabbering right now, but I get really passionate.
No, I think it's so amazing to hear, and thank you so much for sharing all of that. Like, I can see on you that it's not easy, and God, I was getting emotional as well. It's so awesome.
Yeah, like if you've got to share like I've said already, but people suffer alone. I think that's the hardest part. And I'm so glad that, I think social media and women out there and everyone in general, most people in general, are speaking about it more, and not making mental health be such a shunned upon thing to have, like, and there is help out there. Yeah, like, obviously COVID doesn't help that situation with trying to get yourself appointments to see people, but just trying other alternative methods, just putting yourself first, like moving your body, like that to me is 100% what has made the difference for me. So, like, I joined the gym that year. We went into lockdown. So I did a lot of walking, because I'm in Melbourne and everything was shut down in Melbourne so much harder for those 2 years. And I did a lot of walking. I did a lot of home workouts. And then I joined Bailey Haslam, in 2021, I think. I don't know what year up to. Yeah, 2021, April, I joined her and learned how to count my calories, count my macros. And I lost more weight. So I've lost like 35 or 40 kilos, some of it on my own, about 10 kilos with Bailey.
Wow.
And I've been able to then maintain that weight for like at least a good year and a half. So, like, I think maintaining is so much harder than losing, to be honest. Yeah, absolutely. It is hard to lose weight, but to maintain it, especially when you've been a yo-yo binge eating cycle, to maintain it, that's been probably the hardest part to do. But now I'm obviously much more in control of myself.
Absolutely. God, there's so many things here that I want to talk about. But first of all, when you were in this cycle of the spiral of negativity, and you felt it was just going downhill and there was no way up, and you were heavily medicated, like, did you seek out help? Did you talk to anyone, or like, how did you get out of that?
Well, towards the end, I was I was just numb, and when I was heavily medicated, and I was like, because I went to see like a real professional to get help with it. I was heavily medicated that I'd look in the mirror and I would think, oh, God, I look good. Like, how good's this? I'm so happy. And my husband's like, Kylie, like, you need to stop. Like, I'm not telling you what to do, but do you know what you're doing? I'm like, Bo, I'm okay. It's okay. But I was in bed at 6 o'clock at night because I was so exhausted from myself. And then I went back to her and I explained to her, like, I had like the 6-week checkup, and I told her how I was feeling, and she upped my dose. And I was like, well, you trust these people. And I'm not saying they're all the same. They're not. There's some lovely doctors out there and I've had great help. But you trust these people. And I think honestly for me, hitting that like rock bottom was where that's where it all sort of went. And I remember my husband that night emailing or calling, I'm not sure, my hypnotherapy lady Perry, and saying, can you please get Kylie in tomorrow? It's just like going to see her because she's a psychologist as well, and she just breaks everything down, and I just love that. I just love it. Like, I love hypnotherapy now. I love like any sort of mind meditation stuff where you're listening to someone talking to your head. Like, I'm so open to that now. And like, it sounds, I'm sure, kooky to some people, but when you've tried everything, like I just absolutely, I love it. And like I saw her and we worked really hard over a 4-week period. I saw her a couple of days a week. And that for me was what, like, reaching out to someone she was my help. And I know I've spoken about it on my page before, and I know a lot of people have gone and seen Perry and they swear by her, but some people don't swear by her. You've got to be open to it. Like anything, like anything, like even having a coach to lose weight, you've got to be ready and open to do the work. Like, it's not lay down, go to sleep, or listen to this person speak in your mind. You've got to be open to it, and you've got to want to do the work. It's anything in life, you have to do the work. You can, I could have, if I wanted to do the work 3 years ago or 4 years ago, I would have done it then, but obviously something was restricting me. So do the work.
It's crazy how our mind kind of goes into this defense mechanism, almost like trying to protect us, because like you said, you weren't ready to actually deal with the problems at the moment. And I think that's fine. Like, a lot of people are like, no, like, you need to grieve straight away, or you need to like deal with it right away. But if you're not ready, then you're not ready, not open. Do anything. Like, you're not going to open up. You're just going to try and like push everything away, because your body is literally in that survival state where it's just trying to keep you safe. And that goes for mental health as well. It's not just about like starvation and stuff like that. It's literally about, if you can't handle any more stress for your nervous system at the moment, your body is not going to allow you to get help.
No, she's going to shut down. Like, like you have to be, like, I don't know what I was going to say this then, but you go into that fight or flight mode, and you've got to pick your battles. And at the same time, like, that's why I started my page. Like, and even when I was speaking to myself or speaking to my 100 followers at the time, and sometimes, like, those memories come up in my Instagram, and just talking to people, like, just talk. Don't be afraid to tell someone how you're feeling. If they don't reciprocate it the way you thought they might, then find someone else. Like, please, I cannot say it anymore. Like, people can't suffer in silence, because I know a lot of people do, and it doesn't always end well. But I know I'm very passionate about mental health, because I wish that people hadn't walked away from me because they thought I was okay. You got to check on those strong ones. Like, even like my husband, I'll say to him, like, you haven't even checked in on me. And he's like, oh, well, I think that, like, you're so strong. Like, I don't think I need to. I'm like, well, what's that saying? Like, maybe the ones that are the strongest are the ones you should check in on. No, I'm not sure how it goes.
Thinking that.
Yeah. Because I am, like, my friends come to me because they want the honest truth. I'm not rude about it, but they'll come to me, they'll come into my inbox because they know they're not going to get any bullshit. I'll tell them how it is, but I could never give that back to myself, over that time. Like, I couldn't say, Kylie, just come on, let's go, I was just too busy in my pity party eating my 12 donuts and a bloody milkshake in the morning, like.
Yeah. Well, I guess when you've grown up and you've always had to be the strong person for everyone
Yeah.
else, then it just gets to a point when you just like you're so strong for everyone else that you can't be strong for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. Being especially the older sibling. So,
Mm.
yeah.
And it is very common, and like what the patterns that we learn as kids, like they're patterns that we're gonna run as adults as well, right? Like this is the program.
Yeah.
That's how you are, and you can change it, but the first thing is you need to become aware that you're actually doing it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes something as awful as what you've had to go through, like a complete shutdown and completely hit rock
Yeah.
bottom, for you to be like, hang on, like I am doing this and it's obviously not working anymore. Like it might have kept me safe as a child, but now I'm an adult and I don't need to act this way anymore.
No, especially when I've got two boys and they're going through school and they, you know, there's bullies in life, and just showing them that you know you can stand up for yourself and that you are, you know, worthy, which is a big thing for me. So, you know, that's what I've been working on for the last year, is feeling worthy and just like you're loving myself, because the hardest thing to do is love yourself when you've had no self-respect for so long.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like how you like said that you're doing it for your kids as well, and trying to show them that they are worthy and that they can stand up for themselves. And, you know, kids do what we do, not what we say. So them seeing that you're respecting yourself and you're putting in this work to yourself, and that you do all this stuff to better yourself, that's going to show them that that's what they should be doing as well. Whilst you could say that they need to do that and then just go and say that you're so shit and you're so fat and you're so unworthy, like that's obviously what they're going to listen to then. So I think that's
because
amazing.
you remember those things when especially when your parents.
100%. That's all you know. That's all you know as a child. So that's going to be with you for the rest of your life. And I think it's really inspiring to see that you've really taken on everything that you've gone through, and now that you really are trying to just be the best mom you can be, and just be the best person you can be, and friend and wife. And I know you're going to be an amazing coach as well. It's so exciting that you're almost there.
Almost there.
But you also mentioned that you have done a lot of weight loss, which is like super, super impressive. And I 100% agree with you. Like I actually did a post about this morning, that the diet is the easy part. The hard part comes after the diet. When we want to maintain the results. Because, you know, we don't have that goal anymore of weight loss, and we don't like step on the scales every week, or we don't, you know, take photos every week to see how much our body's changed. Like it's hard to find that motivation to keep going and to not fall back into those old habits. So how did you deal with that?
Right. I think when you start to, and it takes time. Like I said, I've been on this journey for a very long time. This is not just I've done a quick 8-week challenge and I'm feeling good. I've been like flexible dieting essentially since like April 21. So we're coming up to almost 2 years. And that first year I put that hard work in to learn what food actually is. And that is just food. It's just something that you eat. It's not a gold trophy that you're going to win a prize for eating the most. Like, you know, when you're binge eating, you're just looking for something to make you happy, and food ain't going to make you happy. For me now, it's going for a walk, going to the gym, you know, being a present mum, because for so long I wasn't present. So just being present, being able to go to the park with the boys and not just sit on the sidelines watching them because I could not be bothered because I had no energy. So they're the things that keep me going to maintain how I am, because once you realize that it's not about the weight, like I'm not at my lowest weight, and there's so many more factors to that. My muscles have grown. My body shape has changed. Like my composition's so totally different to me. What am I, like 77 kilos at the moment? I don't even speak about my weight anymore, because my weight, 77 kilos now compared to last year, is totally different. So seeing yourself in a different light to a number is 100% what has made a difference for me, because it doesn't dictate, a number's not going to dictate me anymore. Like everyone's like, oh, I've got to lose 2 more kilos to get to my goal weight. Like, and I say to them, like, is that going to make you happy? I could say, you know, my goal weight was 69 kilos. Like I'm 7 or 8 kilos away from that. Like I couldn't care less.
I love
the
that.
Number.
Yeah, 100%. No, I love that so much. And it's so true. And I think that's a big, big red flag that coaches need to look out for. Like when clients constantly going, oh, just a couple more kilos, just a couple more kilos. Like that was definitely like, I think so many people can resonate with that. Like, fuck, I was like that too. And like when I hit my goal weight, it was like, oh, just one more.
Then let's see how far we can get it.
Yeah, just see how skinny I can get. And like your mind is so freaking powerful. And if you keep telling yourself that, oh no, I'm fine, or I'm actually enjoying this, or I don't mind being a little bit hungry, I don't mind missing out. Like that's what you're gonna believe, and that can be really good at times when you are, really focusing on something. But it also comes to a point when like when it goes overboard. I mean, you're going a bit too far because you're always in that mindset. You're never really going to be truly happy. You're never going to be satisfied.
No, 100%, because like for me, like I'm a bit of a rebel. I don't like to be told what to do. So I don't like to say that out loud because people are different, but I never was very, very strict with my tracking. Like I never counted oil in, and I don't spray oil everywhere. I use like a dab of oil if I'm using it, like, little things like that. So not being so stringent, but still being mindful and learning at the same time, it's definitely helped me sort of come out the other end where, it doesn't matter. It's a little bit of oil. Like, yes, it matters if you're like, you're doing something like a competition or something like that, then yeah, that's cool. Like you've got to be obviously strict, but I'm just your average Joe Blow, like wanting to feel good about herself. So, like you've got to be realistic.
Yeah, I love that so much. And it's all about happiness, like you said. Like it's all about what makes you actually truly happy. And if being 7 or 8 kilos heavier than your goal weight in quotations makes you happier, then fuck, of course you're gonna do that.
But it's not even 7 kilos heavier. Like I feel good about myself.
Yeah.
Like if someone looks at, I think it comes down to, if someone could look at me. I'll have an example. My mum said to me that I don't talk about my weight so much with my family anymore because it is a big thing, or it was a big thing growing up. Not growing up because I never really had a weight problem, but it's old school way, And she said to me maybe a few months ago, oh, how much are you weighing these days, Kylie? And I said, oh, I don't know. I think it was like maybe 74 then, right? I'm like, oh, about 74 kilos. She's like, oh, you look like you're 69, 68, in the 60s at least. But it's funny how someone looks and thinks that's what you should weigh. So when I post my mirror selfies, people are thinking, oh my God, like she looks so good. Because my confidence is there. And the way I hold myself now, like me back bigger, doing a photo like that in the mirror, you could see in my eyes I was so unhappy and miserable and depressed. Now, like the first thing anyone comments about on my photos or in my stories or just in chit chat, it's like you can just tell that you're alive now through your eyes.
Yeah.
And having that confidence within yourself, and I can probably say I finally love myself for who I am. I love myself for my confidence in my way I tell people how it is and that side, but I love myself for my body now. And that's probably the biggest win out of everything.
Oh, I love that so much. That actually gives me goosebumps because that is literally what it's all about. And being happy with ourselves, and like you don't have to love yourself every single day of the week and every single part of your body. We're all gonna have shit days when we just like, I feel blah today.
Definitely,
but that's okay. But that's okay. You don't think it's a very unrealistic expectation that society is putting on us. Like, no, just love your body. Just wear the shorts, wear the top. Like,
or they put it on your like I have for a very long time. It's like, oh, you should be so happy, Kylie. You're married, you've got kids, you've got a dog, you've got a house. Your whole life looks so good. I wish I had that, but those things don't make me happy. Like, I'm not a materialistic person at all. I'm a realist. Like, I just feelings make me happy. Like not anything that's materialistic. Essentially, yeah, money can make you happy, but for me, as long as everyone else is happy around me.
Yeah, exactly. And it all comes down to like, you can only like you can have all the things in the world doesn't mean that you're going to be happy. It comes from within. And I think that social media can sometimes just portray that everyone has like the perfect life except for you. But everyone has issues going on behind closed doors. Like, fuck, even Beyonce gets cheated on. Like,
exactly.
No matter how stunning you are or how much money you have, like something can still happen to you and you have no idea what's going on behind closed doors.
No, and that's why I show up as myself on my Instagram, because it's my Instagram. And I've got 30-something thousand followers now, but I still treat
Crazy.
my Instagram how it was when I had one.
Yeah.
Because this is my Instagram and I will tell you how I feel. I won't be told how to feel. And if you don't like it, I actually don't care, because like, just be yourself. Like, there's so many fake people out there that I ain't got time for that. So when you come and see me on Transforming Kylie's page, you're going to get what you see. And yeah, like, I could pretend to be who I'm not, but what for what? Like, that's exhausting.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And like, I think you can only pretend to be someone else for so long as well. Like, eventually it's going to fall through, but you can be yourself forever. And that's what I love about your page, that I just come on there and I instantly feel good about myself, and I just get inspired by like your posts, and I just love like your food, and everything is very real. Like, you're talking to the camera, you don't put on like 1,000 filters, you just rock up, you have like
I never wear makeup at the best of times.
Exactly, you just have your hair in a bun, you can be sweaty from the gym, you don't care. And that's what I love.
No.
Like, that's like a real page. And I think that it's so amazing that to see like people like that growing on Instagram as well, and not just the kind of like perfect influencer kind of girls.
No. We're all human.
Yeah. And of course, like, they obviously have stuff and shit going on behind the scene as well. But I think it is a bit scary that they are always portraying that their life are so perfect, because there's a lot of people who are not aware that Instagram is a lot of fakeness.
Yeah, I think it comes down to vulnerability. And yeah, I'm not 100% at that point of being 100% vulnerable. I'm actually scared of when I get to that point, because it could be a really big, massive can of whoop-ass. But just being vulnerable it's actually probably the hardest thing as well, is to be vulnerable. And I think that's why people don't show their true self, because they're scared of being judged. But most of the time, that's what people want. Like, just to show up as who you are, not who you wish you, or I'm not sure what they're doing there.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, being vulnerable is the most courageous thing that you can do, I think. And it also opens up space for other people to be vulnerable. So I'm hoping that you sharing your story here will open up to other people to reach out for help and to see that they're not alone. And, that's one of the reasons why I want to get you on here, to share with people, because I know there's so many people going through shit like this. There's so many people going through eating disorders or like mental health issues.
My inbox is always full. Yeah, full. And I can't be everyone's counselor. I reply to everybody, but at the same time, I've got to put boundaries in place, because it is heavy. It's very heavy in my inbox sometimes, especially when I'm feeling quite low. And for me, like, I used to think all the time, that, oh my God, my mental health is back. But actually it's not. It's just I'm a human, and humans have bad days. For so long I thought, oh no, here we go, I'm back again. Like, and I think that's probably the biggest fear of along this way of this last 3 years especially, is that fear of going back to that place. But I know now, probably in the last 6 months, it's never going to happen again. That I'm now completely in control of who I am and who I want to be, and I'll never go back there. And if I do, no, I'm not.
Well, I was going to say, if you do, you know how to get out. You've done it before.
Exactly. I do. And that's what I mean. Like, when I have like over this Christmas, I've not binged. I've enjoyed myself. I have eaten that cheese platter, and I have held no guilt with that cheese platter or those biscuits or those, extra dining out. And I've just got back to it, because I have those tools now, because I've learnt and done it properly, and not gone to a cabbage soup diet, or, try to cut out something to make me skinny, because skinny ain't cute.
No, I think it's so good to see. And I think like, you also have to remember that you, as much as you want to help, you're not a counselor, you're not a therapist.
No.
So I think it's so amazing that you do want to help these people. I think that's so, it's just amazing to see. And obviously that's what we want to do. We want to help. But it also comes to a time where we also need to respect our boundaries. And like you said, like, sometimes it gets really, really heavy. And if that's starting to affect your mental health, like, how are you going to help them if you are feeling like shit yourself? Yeah,
exactly right. No, you do have to set those boundaries, and that's what I've learned over time, is that I can't help everybody. I can only point them in the right direction, and if they take that direction, that's fine. Sometimes just being, like, I think what helps a lot of people is just being myself, and I'm having a bad day, I let everybody know. I'm like, oh, fuck, it's a shit day today. Like, all that cardio class at F45, I'm never doing that again. Like, I will tell you how it is. And they'll be like, oh my God, how bad was it? I'm like, oh, disgusting. But then I'll still go the next day.
Yeah. No, I love that though. You're keeping it real and like you're showing people that it's okay. Like, because sometimes I think that people think that everyone loves going to the gym all the time and they're just in there going, oh my God, I love getting
Not
so
cardio.
Yeah.
You love cardio.
Exactly. Like, yeah, like we don't always want to go to the gym and sometimes we just show up and sometimes like, fuck, like yesterday I did like a 20-minute workout because I didn't want to be there. And that's fine.
Yeah, they think like because I do F45 now, they're like, oh, you must be so fit. I'm like, you ask the trainers. I'm the first one to stop or back off or hide in the corner. But it's a habit. Like for me, like it's hard because I'm trying to stop going on a Wednesday morning so I can have that because I wake up at 4:30 every morning.
Mm.
I'm trying to stop that Wednesday because I don't enjoy cardio at the moment. So why go? But it's such a bad habit, not bad, take that word back. It's such a habit. My body clock just automatically wakes me up and I'm just like, well, I'm awake and I can't get back to sleep, so I'm better go. But
yeah, might as well.
tomorrow's the second week of quitting cardio and we'll see how we go.
Well, it just comes
I'm probably
down
gonna fail because I'm like, oh, I'm away next week, so we can do the 5 sessions with us on Wednesday. I'm already planning in my brain.
I mean,
that's not my brain. It's out loud now.
Yeah. Now we all know now. I'm just gonna check up on you. Well, I was gonna say, it's just a matter of like listening to your body and listening. Sometimes I think it can be really hard for people to see the difference between like being lazy and just like not wanting to go. Like for like being actually tired and having to rest. I think there's a difference here. Like you can be, sometimes you go to the gym and you feel better after, but sometimes you probably shouldn't be there because your body needs to rest. If you're mentally exhausted, you're physically exhausted, you're sore, like you're injured, you're sick or something. Like it's so important to learn to like that difference, right?
Yeah, because more for me because I have to get up at 4:30 every morning. So like my husband starts work at 6 a.m. So I've got to be home. I get home at pretty much 10 to 6. He's flying out the door and I'm at home for the boys to wake up, then I get them ready, I take them to school, I go to work, I work all day, and you come home, I've got to cook dinner. Like it's just this hamster wheel, whereas I can just replace the Wednesday mornings with a walk, I don't have to not do anything. Just hopefully my body lets me sleep in past 4:30, which is like at the moment I'm up to 5:15, so that's nice.
5:15, that is insane. I can't remember last time I was up at 5:15.
Oh my God, I wish I'd like all Christmas holidays. So I was doing like the 7 a.m. session because there's no, it's Christmas holidays, and I wake up at like no later than 6:30 every single day. I'm like, come on, body, we're in holiday mode.
Oh shit, that's so funny. Well, we're almost closing into an hour, which is crazy. I feel like we just started speaking. But I'm curious to know, what are your goals for the future?
Goals for the future. Look, I say it to everybody. I'm not a massive goal person. I'm a realistic person, but I think over time, I'm letting goals that I sort of fear making goals because I don't want to fail. So it's letting go of that thought of failure and just stepping into it. And I'm slowly getting there. Like we're 17 days into January, and the things that I thought I couldn't do, like on the start of the month, I'm now thinking, yes, I can do this. So I'm going to be setting up my own coaching, with my own online clients, and just helping people feel as good as I do, and just being able to just change people's lives. Like, my life was changed. Like that's my goal, is just to help other people, but not overcommit and set my boundaries.
Yeah.
But I just want to make a difference, I suppose.
I'm sure you will. Like you already have such a big following and you already have so many people who love you and are all about what you do. So I'm sure those coaching spots will just fill up straight away.
Yes. People are like, when are you starting? I'm like, oh, like it's hard. I'm working a full-time job. Yeah. I've got 2 kids. I've got a house to run. Like it's hard to find time, and it's not an excuse. Like I'm doing everything. So, I need to be in bed by 9 o'clock. Come Friday, I am the grumpiest mum in the world. So it's balancing, so I'm slowly getting there. We're slowly getting there. I'm hoping by February, maybe March, we'll be ready to go.
Yeah. Are you allowing yourself to have days off?
Yeah, so I'm going to be scaling back at my full-time job. So we'll just see how we go with that, how many days I need to take off. Yeah, but I work for a family business and they're very supportive, so it's really good.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, I'm super excited for your coaching business to start and follow you along on your journey. Already, like from when I started following you to now, I think there's been so much happening and it's been so exciting to see. And I can't wait to watch you grow. So guys, when this comes out, it'll probably be end of Feb, I'd say. But
so
definitely make sure that you go and hit up Kylie for, even if you haven't started coaching yet, like definitely still make sure you follow her and check out her recipes and all the inspiration that she posts on her page, because it is truly amazing and it's so just like a feel good page.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, it was been so nice to talk to you. And yeah, it's been a long time coming. Like we had it scheduled for last week. What happened last week?
Oh, friend I went to school with.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Fatal accident.
Yeah. We don't have to talk about that, but yeah. And then this morning I got the time zones wrong. Like, I'm not gonna
and then my power went out like half an hour beforehand.
Oh my God. It's been one thing after the other, but I'm glad we finally got it done. We finally got it done. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I did. If you did, please make sure that you do take a screenshot and you share it on your stories and you tag myself, you tag Kylie and you tag Women's Fitness Academy, because we love connecting with you guys so much. But Kylie, thank you so much for coming on. And I hope that you, good luck with all your studies and I hope that you come to Bali soon.
We'll get there. No, thank you.
Thank you.